let's actually get a point attribute, and that was the CD, I think. Or was there? I think we had a CD attribute on it. I created it. Let's see if it reads it. Yeah, there is the color attribute showing up now, and we can get another material. Let's actually use that as a blend color. Pipe that other material in. Okay, now we got another material going on, which is also quite nice, and we could play here with some different shaders. For example, what about glass? Okay. Wow, that was fast. So I hope it's now faster. Let's try this one more time. Let's go with glass. And there you go. It is loading, but I don't like how the glass looks like at that moment, so we need to tweak that a bit. So first of all, I don't like the refraction color. That's basically what I do every time I use glass. So I use the Fresnel, and I do want to change some stuff on the Fresnel. Usually I go with 0.9. Why the fuck? So back at it again, let's get a Fresnel. I think I also turn off now RTX acceleration and the render settings. I don't know if Tim have already turned that off, but yeah, it's still on. I turn it off now. That's also a sweet, interesting angle. I just recognized when the hardware ray tracing is off, it crashes way less on my end. I don't know if that's a driver issue or if there's something broken with Redshift, but yeah. And I want to work now on the glass shader. So what I usually do is like changing the index of refraction here, and here I pump that up to 0.1 or 1.5, depends. And then I pipe that all into a ramp, and in the ramp I change that to 1 and the other one to maybe, let's say 40, 0.4, excuse me. And then I pipe that into the refraction transmission color. So refraction refraction color, I think, yeah. And immediately you see that the spots are getting darker. Which in my opinion is more realistic. But yeah, and I try to get that glass looking like ice or something. So I load in now a texture, and I go with the texture I use a lot from Cornelius Demrich. He's a very famous artist. You can download his textures. I think they're for free. I'm using right now. So if you want to follow along this tutorial, you might go into Somax, surface imperfections. I think Nelius Demrich. I think here he got his also his surface imperfections on the Gumroad, and there you can find these 8K tileable glossy maps. They're pretty nice. You can see by the ratings, a lot of people use them already. The only thing is, because Redshift works with roughness maps, we need to convert them. But first of all, load them in. Give me a second. What do I want to go with? I think Scratch Smudge will work fine. So let's use a ramp node, pipe that into the ramp and invert that whole thing. And then we put that here on the surface and see what we got. It's processing the texture right now. We also want to change that to raw. And since we have no UVs, this is not going to work. So we're using a tri-planar node as well here. And voila. So I want to put that to reference and the blend amount a bit higher. And we can basically scale this a bit bigger. Oh, sorry, wrong direction. Maybe 0.5. I think since they're so high res, this could work quite well. And I want a very harsh edge between them. This is kind of cool. Let's pipe that into the reflection roughness here and see what we got. I think we need to increase the overall. Let's basically first of all change that to B-spline, or yeah, let's put here 20. Oh no, that's too much. 10. Oh my god, I'm always confused because right now I'm working at Man vs Machine on a job where we use Cinema 4D, and there you have percentage numbers and not 0.1, so I always use the wrong ones. But that looks better. Maybe up here 0.8. I think that looks better. I think we need to tweak it furthermore. So let's change this to 0.4 maybe, and leave that at 0.8. So it's a bit rougher, but I'm completely fine with that. And we can also try to use that as a bump map. So let's get a bump. Sorry, let's get a ramp first. Invert that and then put that into the bump. I think we probably just want to go with a very small amount of bump. Yeah, right now it should be way too much. Okay, let's render that again. That looks pretty good. I like these areas that are at this rough glass. So what I now did, I added 4 point lights inside of the sculpture to give it more like a crystal look. And I think that's pretty nice. So we get more, you know, you have more the feeling of different materials. I do think I play with the temperature of the lights now. I think, for example, that looks pretty nice in my opinion. Let's give them actually different temperatures. So I want the ones in the middle. So basically the first light is on top, then the second, then the third, and the fourth. And basically I want the ones in the middle to be more colorful, so they are more reddish, and the ones on the top should be more yellowish or something. So maybe something like that, and this one can be, yeah, more orangey. And I think I like the one on the bottom with this temperature. So I do want to give them also different intensities. Maybe something like that. I think that can have a strong intensity as well. And let's see what this does. Yeah, it just glows up a bit. So I keep it like that. To be honest, I saw the sculpture Tim did, or he already shaded mine. So I know he's also using some red elements. And we wanted to go more like a uniform look, or so they look similar to each other. So I decided to give it a color, a light inside of it. And I don't know how you guys feel, but giving it basically a color inside here, like using the color mode, usually doesn't give that interesting results as using the temperature. So I always, when you want to do something with lights, you want to go with the temperature. By the way, this is also not the final lighting. We're gonna do the final lighting in if we finished all the materials. But for now, I think this looks quite interesting. Let's actually work on the next part. So let's hop into here, and I think this one was highlighted. There are some wireframes attached to it. Okay, we have them here. They're called RS Material Connections Concrete. So let's go into here, RS Material Connections Concrete. And let's get a material. I think I'm gonna go with some metal stuff for now. I don't know, let's see if we can use one of the presets. I don't want to overcomplicate stuff. Let's leave it on silver for now. Or actually, let's go into plastic and crank up the IOR to something crazy like 10. That could work. So let's work on the other parts of the sculpture. Let's see what we got. I turn this off for a second. So here are the connecting elements, RS material wires and RS material connectors. I think RS material connection wires. I think this was them. Connection wires, connectors. Okay. Connection wires. I also go with the material, and I also stick to silver for now. And with these, maybe I go a bit darker. Let's use a standard material, pipe that in, and actually go into that view. I do wanna see it, but I don't want to see the whole sculpture. Let's see. Let's turn everything on and see what it looks like. So in the background you can see the full sculpture. I think I need to rework the lighting anyways, but let's see it for now. Yeah, it starts to look pretty cool in my opinion. So I also want to rework this stuff and the ring. There's material connector and wires. This is the standard material. I think I also go with something like silver. I think that works quite nice for all the pieces here. Okay, so we're gonna work on a texture for these rings now. So I think they're called, give me a second, material wires. These are wires, material rings, RS material rings, okay. So I tried something here, but I don't like it, so I will rework that. So let's get a redshift material, or maybe our standard material. I actually do like the new material quite a lot. I think they did a good job on that one. Damn, that structure around the rings is also very beautiful. I like it a lot. So let's see what we can do, basically. So this is the sculpture from the front side. I do like the dramatic light coming from the top left side. So, but I think this texture looks a bit flat right now. So, so let's get a max on noise. Pipe that in. And we want to do work with wavy turbulence, or I think I go with stupid. I like this one. And we go with object, maybe scale that up to something like 5. And we give it more contrast, 0.5 and 0.3 could work, or maybe 0.1. That is looking good to me, so let's pipe that in. And get a bump map and pipe that into the bump map. And let's see, get a screenshot. Ah, damn, I was too slow. But we can see some stuff is going on there. Maybe it's too much. I think it would be also interesting to use that in the displacement. So let's check that actually. Displacement, texture map, and yeah, let's keep it like that. We do need to, oh, I think it is already enabled here. So let's see what it looks like. Might take a while. Oh, and that's way too wild. So let's dial that back. And yeah, I think this organic piece, or giving this rings a more of an organic shape also works quite well. So I will keep that. But I want to use a material blender. So pipe that into the material blender. And then here we do get a curvature noise, rs curvature, and maybe let's see first what it's doing. And yeah, probably way too big. Can give it more samples. Push that back even further, maybe something more. Let's see what concave does. I mean, we get some spots here. It's not really what I wanted. Let's go with concave. I'm always confused by these random sliders here. They're super annoying and not working properly in my opinion. But yeah, try to get some white spots in there just as a mask, and I will use that material blend color. Then we pipe in. Actually, I want to go with something high glossy. Light color, blend color. Okay, wow. Let's get a ramp node. Is there some difference? Okay, I mean, there should be some spots. Let's try to see it by changing it to plastic and using this color. Okay, cannot see anything. Maybe get blue. I think there are some spots going on here and there. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, probably something like that. So we just have a few of them. I'm not super happy with the curvature node inside of Houdini. I think in Cinema 4D it works better. I don't know why, but yeah, that's my experience so far. So maybe we want to go with silver, or I think lead is also pretty nice. Or we go with plastic and then we crank up the IOR. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And yeah, I also want to use this noise map to drive the reflection roughness. And I want to make this maybe a bit darker, so it matches in general the mood of this a bit more. Yeah, probably something like that could work. And I think I want to give it more bump even. So let's create a bump blender. And we do want to add some high frequency noise, but also with the mask again. So color composite. So we need a few nice patches now. And I want to use turbulence. Crank that up. Yeah, maybe even clip that. I think these patches are quite nice. We will use that as a mask. So base color. And I will copy and paste that and use get a high frequent noise. Oops, the wrong direction. Something like that. And we pipe that in and use that as a multiply. Maybe we can do some fancy stuff like dodge. That also looks great, I think. What else could we use? Exclusion is also interesting. Stencil. I think I really like to also work with dodge. Soft light is also interesting. What is hard light? Yeah, hard light is also very nice. Yeah, I think for this one I go with hard light. So let's copy and paste that bump map, dial that into input, and we go into input layer 1. And don't forget to crank this up and activate it actually. So let's see. Yeah, we have some nice spots going on here, but I feel like they're too high glossy, so let's crank that up. Let's also get another, let's copy and paste that actually, I liked it. And maybe, let's see what it's like. I used hard light, what was it with dodge? Dodge was also pretty cool. But I want to change some parameters. Let's go with the offset. And maybe also dial that up. So we just have a few spots. And then I want to go with, is it dodge? Maybe I also go with hard. Oh no, I go with dodge. That was pretty nice. And we can basically get a blend color here as well. And I want to, let's play around. Let's see what it looks like with an incandescent shader. And we also go with temperature. Maybe something like and we need to use make some noise, another noise. I know a lot of noises going on, but let's see that actually. And I do wanna crank up the contrast as always, maybe a bit of that. Or we can go with a higher contrast, and maybe I go with turbulence for this one. And I want to control the temperature of that with the change range node. We're going to change it from, so basically I want from 500 to, let's say, 3000. And let's see what it looks like. Yeah, and you get this natural different heat spots. Let's say it like that. Can even change that if you want, so it's more prominent. You can crank that intensity multiplier up. Yeah. I think that also looks interesting because we have them all over these the sculpture, and you can see it through. That's pretty interesting to me. I don't know how you feel, but I probably don't want to make it as prominent because I really want to keep the focus on that one. Gets more of a lava structure, but I think I like it. I will increase these lights as well right now. So the intensity is 3, 1, 2, 1. I think let's actually see what it looks like if we double them. Oopsies. 4, 2. Maybe we can also play with that as well. Contribution. Oh, come on. Do I need to do that manually? So we changed the volume contribution to 0. This is glow. This is not even used, the dome light. But we also dial that back to 0. Maybe here on the contribution, let's go with something very low. And let's actually enable the volume scatter when the R is out. So what if we crank these up right now? We get some glowing parts going on. Maybe we can massage that even further. So I know. So the only thing I changed, I pushed back the anisotropy. So this is what it looked before, and this is what it looks now. And I'm gonna tweak the lights now again. So maybe something like that could work. We just have a very subtle effect. Maybe on some of the lights could be more. Maybe on the bottom one. Yeah, that's without, and that's with the scatter. And I think I do like it. I just want to push it even further, the intensity. Oh well, let's stay with that for now. Just like that. Cool. Yeah, it's getting more like a lava version of it or something. But I do like it. So let's work on this structure. And let's see what we can get out of it. I will want something, yeah, more whitish. And I think the paper preset is kind of a good start. Yeah, it feels like a very beautiful structure taking over. And although it's white, I think it's not taking too much attention from the middle part. So can even play with this one. Let's actually see. Give it a crazy color and maybe go higher. And I saw that Tim was using like a RS user data color, so he made an curvature attribute on the geo, which is kind of cool, and we're gonna use that as well. So this is using a scalar ramp on that, but that's fine. So you can see these spots, and I basically want to change that back. Now let's go with paper again. This is our base color, and I think let me tweak it by another ramp. I don't like to work with these scalar ramps, although they're more scientific and they're more flexible, but I'm more used to this. Whatever. Let's push it more so it's more contrasty. And this is still our base shape, the paper one. So let's get a material blender. That is the base color for it. And we pipe that into the blend color. And basically duplicate that. Paste that into the layer color. So, sorry. Let me take another look for it. I think on the black parts, it could be cool if we have some transparency going on. So, but I used this one here. And I want to crank that up. So let's say 1. It's not too wild, but I think if we change the color, we could see something. I mean, obviously this is way too... It could even look a bit like ice, which is kinda cool. Maybe I'm gonna push that into the ice, more into ice direction. So it's more of an artificial ice, but I do like it. I'm gonna copy and paste that color code, and we go with the go with the constant node. So paste that inside here, and we have that blue tone, and we go into translucency color, I think, and maybe get a color, not composite, but a color correct node. And now we're gonna also work with max and noise. Oh, come on. Maybe it's also a bit too saturated. I mean, it's very blue. I like it like that. And check it out. I also want to go with stupil here. I think that matches the overall flow of this piece. It's very flowy, and if you take a look at the stupil noise, it's also pretty flowy, in my opinion. And I want to also give it more contrast. Maybe clip it a bit. Something like that could work. And then we change range of that one, and we might give it a saturation, different saturation scales. But we say maybe from 0.75 to 1.5. I don't know if that's too much saturation, but we can tweak that. But we also should get different shades of blue, which doesn't make the image so cheap. And change it maybe 0.5 to all the way up to 3. Yeah. Now you can feel that there's something going on. Okay, this is what it looks like now. I think I want to play a bit with refraction as well. So let's actually go all the way to 1. And the thing is, because we're mixing it with the curvature, oopsie, sorry, didn't meant to do that, is we're actually getting a more of a tendrils out of it, so it looks, you know, you see these edges, and I kinda like that look. So I'm probably sticking to that. I think I wanted to go with refraction transmittance. And right now it's very blue. Because we're actually driving the saturation, but I don't want to drive the saturation at all. I maybe want to go with hue shifts instead. So let's see. Something like there. And I do want to go with old range. Should be 350 maybe, and the new range will be 370. Let's see. So let's check it with the hue shifts. Yeah, I feel it's like it's doing something, but we can even push it further. Let's say 340, 390. Something like that. Oh, that is interesting. You get some very blue spots here. And some more turquoise ones over there. Yeah, this is some very nice, interesting look, in my opinion. And maybe we can check if we push back the contrast, if we get smoother. Yeah, I do like the different hues. Here's everything the same, and here we have different hues. Yeah, I'm just not sure if I want to stay that saturated. Let's check that actually. Oh, come on. Probably it's more beautiful without being so saturated. I think that's kind of cool. Cool, so now I'm gonna work on these spots just to get some roughness inside of it, and then we can work on the white ones. But right now, let's get on our texture, and I want to get some surface imperfections, and I do like to work with these Somax net fingerprints. I think we used it previously, net fingerprint smudge, Somax net fingerprint smudge. Yeah, this one. And since they're glossy maps, we need to convert them. So let's do that real quick. Check that out. Yeah, right now you will not see anything because we're not having proper UVs. So I'm gonna use a triplanar node because triplanar usually works quite well without any UVs, but I want to push that up. And I go here with reference and scale that up. Oh, that makes it smaller, but this direction. Yeah, I think that works, and I wanna get it very contrasty. Probably even more blacks. Let's see. Something like that will work, hopefully. And we have the screenshot. Let's pipe that into the reflection roughness and see what we got. I hope we get some nice results in these areas. Cannot spot that much of a difference right now. Maybe first of all see how big the pattern is. Yeah, maybe we can even push it a bit bigger. Oh, come on. 0.3. Good work. Okay. What I want to do now is I'd like to change or use that in a bump map. Let's actually get that into the bump map and get a screenshot and put that into overall and bump input. Okay, I found the reason, because when you use the preset paper, the IOR is of set to 1, and we don't want that. So let's change this. And yeah, sorry. So if you pipe that off, and yeah, so you can see basically through it, but you have this nice effects going on when you pipe back the IOR. You can play with it a bit, so it's not that crazy. And now I want to play with the reflection roughness. yeah, something like that could work. So let's put that back inside here. Get a screenshot and pipe it into the reflection roughness. So we're getting very interesting results. So now I want to work on the white parts of it. So this is gonna be probably paper still. There's also the IOR a bit weird, I think. So change that, and we do also want to get some bump map going on with the Maxon noise. Let's check that. And for that I go with the wavy turbulence. Put that to object, output, contrast, low clip as always. And I want to go with something more high. Or, yeah. Let's see what that looks like. Texture input, overall bump input. Let's see if we can spot a difference. Yeah, I think it looks different. And I do think it's more interesting. And what I want to do now as well is, like, we do have this white spots, but I really want to give it some sparkle things. So let's get a color composite node, pipe that inside there, get a Maxon noise as always, and use that here. And we do want to multiply it. So I use turbulence again, contrast 0.5, low clip 0.3, and probably smaller. And also, yeah, something like that maybe. So we have some sparkling going on. And now I want to put that back, and we use that for a new material. Blend color, ours material, put that back here. Actually, let's get a screenshot. And layer color. So I want to use on that maybe some aluminium. Yeah, you can, I mean, you can barely see it. Some areas here, only where the light hits it. So I think we can push them back more. Get the low clip somewhere here. Okay, wow. Let's use fire for that one. Fire is the perfect noise type for it. Yeah, I think that could work. And let's see the difference. Okay, some final tweaks to the sculpture below. I think I want to reduce the bump map on these, so I think they're quite heavy. Let's dial that back to 0.1 and actually get this render area to have a faster feedback. Can even push it further back. And we also need to rework the sparkles. I think they're too big at the moment. So put that back. And yeah. Maybe something like that. And yeah, we get some nice effects going on here. Okay, I wanna rework the stand geo a bit. This is the last thing we were working on. I don't like some things going on in the background. These weird lines here, but we work on that in a second. Let's delete those faces. Then I want to poly extrude it a bit. But yeah. Oh, I think he selected the group bevel. So actually, let's create the group bevel here. Or maybe after the poly extrude. Yeah, there you go. And now both sides will be beveled. This looking nice. And simply like that, yeah. And I want to give this a glass material. Okay, that is about the right size, I think. Let's see. Aris material stand. So let's go into that. And let's kinda work on that. Okay, let's give this a glass shader. I think it's not gonna changing it that much. So that's it for the materials. I'm gonna rework now the lighting. But before I rework the lighting, I forgot something. I want to change the background. Okay, let's look into the background. This is the background. I think he piped in some noise for the base color, but also for the bump. It's Luca noise. Let's check that. Damn, the sculpture is so heavy, it's so slow. It's not really responding that fast, which sucks a bit. And I think that's because I have volumetrics in there and also displacements going along. I don't know why, but this really sucks with redshift. I think what is causing this line over there is probably the light is shooting out of the main geo in the foreground and will be reflected there. So I hope I can fix that by simply moving the geo more backwards, because the light will fall off naturally. and maybe we need to scale that bigger. That's what I thought. And now what I did for the lighting, of course I have these 4 lights here, which are the main lights geo. This is the lights inside there. Then I didn't use this RS dome light. I simply used this dome light we created for visualizing it. This is the Canada Montreal bathroom one. I think we can even crank that up a bit. And I give it a light linking just to the sculpture, so the background is not affected from it. Then I have the hero key light on the left top side. This is causing these light effects in the sculpture. And I created another light, this one just for the background, and we will need to push that back because right now the background is very, very dark. And I created this to get a vignette effect, you see? So it's in the corners darker, but here it's more brighter. And we are losing this weird line here over there. And also a nice effect, it's not so grayish, but more contrasty. I think I want to crank that back down a bit. I like this more. Yeah. That is pretty cool. And maybe, let's call that background light. Maybe we can pipe that, crank that a bit up. Yeah. And I also changed the spread, or left it to 1. Yeah, or maybe stick to... Oh, I didn't want to change the spread, but the intensity. So, or maybe 7.5. That's fine. Yeah. So this is the background light. We can put that over there. And this is the key light. I want to create now, copy and paste that. Maybe we get now rim light, but actually keep that off. And we get a screenshot so we know what we're doing. Here I did some tests I didn't like, but I do like this one. And I do like the vignette effect, it's pretty cool. The stand is getting a bit dark maybe. We might want to change that later, but for now I keep it like that. But yeah, I like this natural gradients, no weird lines going on. I mean, we do have some here, but this is causing because we have some volumetrics going on, but not some weird reflections or shadows on the background. So let's get a screenshot of that and enable this one, rename that to rim light maybe, enable it, and we place that right behind the geo, or maybe a bit more behind, but also let me jump into the camera. Behind, but also more on this side. It's rotated weirdly. Yes, I also like it like that. It's shooting a bit light inside there, which is also interesting. I don't know what's happening on the table or on the stand. That's a bit weird. But let's actually save that by duplicating it and disabling it. Let's see what we can do with the spread effect. Yeah, I think the spread is not really helping. Let's keep that on 0.225. And we want to move that more into that direction. Yes, I like it. We have some rim light going on, not only on the artificial ice sculpture thingy, but also on the rings, on the inside part of the rings, which is kind of cool. I think I like it like that a lot. The only thing I don't like right now is the this weird stand. But I also don't mind if it stays that black. At least it's not taking any attention from the sculpture. So this is the final sculpture. You can see the render time is quite high, but I do like the result. Also the rim light is highlighting some of the ropes, which is pretty cool, and also more more of the ice sculpture. Yeah, that is the sculpture. I hope you liked it, and yeah, see you soon. Cheers.